Hello, it's Lion here with Hobbies Man once again, and today we're going to be doing another first impressions review. Today we're going to be looking at something that's not really sports related at all. This is something I bought last month that I wanted to talk about this month, and sadly it doesn't fit into the main theme of the month, but not everything I'm reading this month does, so it is what it is. So today we're going to be looking at Green Blood #1. This is a Spanish edition. This is written by Masasumi Kagisaki, who does awesome work. I previously talked on the channel about his two other works, Bestiarius and Hideout. He also has a very long career working for the writer of Rainbow, or working with the writer of Rainbow to draw that manga. And he has another series called X Gene, I think. And there's a Japanese movie adaptation turned into a manga called The Wife of the Spy, or The Spy's Wife, or The Spy's, maiden, or something like that. That's only 2 volumes, so that's also available in Spanish. And he's a really good writer, or a really good mangaka. Has no, outlook or anything done for him in the West, which kind of sucks. All of his stuff is under Credential, if I remember correctly. So with the fact that Credential recently started publishing stuff by Boichi, hopefully that means they'll also start publishing stuff from Masasumi Kagisaki. I really hope they do. Now this edition specifically is from Milky Ediciones, as you guys can see right there. If it would focus, let's see. No, it doesn't look like it. Here's their logo. It's like an M that's like reflected across itself. And because this is not an American manga, there's a few little kind of things about it that are kind of interesting. So first of all, it has a dust jacket. And this dust jacket looks like this. Pretty cool. Wraparound cover here. This is more or less the main character here. His name is Brad, or the Grim Reaper, depending on who he's talking to. And his little brother, Luke, I think. And both of them are immigrants from Ireland, I think. Here's the inside cover. This actually, I think, is a scene directly from the book. Here's the logo again, and here is the name of the series. And inside, we have a few color pages. Now, we start with a black page. Nice. And then we get in here with Green Blood. This is not like what's called the comic book paper. This is normal paper with ink on it. Very nice look here. Here we have some color pages. Again, normal paper with very nice ink. Really good printing quality on this as well. And the classic kind of like lines all over the place that Masasumi Kagisaki really enjoys doing. And here's the end of the color pages before it transitions into these beautiful white and black and gray pages here that are filled to the brim with color all over the place. Or, well, with black mostly. And it works really, really nicely. I'm curious to see if he paints them and then they just grayscale them. It doesn't look like it, but there's a lot of detailing to the way he draws, so I can't really tell for sure, but really good stuff here. So let's talk about Green Blood properly now. The demographic for this is seinen. It's published by Credential in Weekly Young Magazine, or it was. It's already done. It's only 5 volumes long. I'm not sure if that was because it was canceled or because the story wasn't that long to begin with. To be fair, I do think it was probably because the story wasn't that long to begin with, because most stuff that he does is generally short. So it is what it is. In terms of genre, this is supposed to be a Western. However, at the point that I'm at the story at the end of this volume, they have not actually gone out west yet. So the Western title might be used incorrectly here to kind of just mean a American historical fiction story. But the kind of vibe of the story does have this kind of like Western like vibe to it, because it's people with guns, it's saloons, it's wood houses, stuff like that. It's gangsters, or kind of like what's it called, like savage people, right? In general. So I don't think it either is a Western and it eventually does go out west, or the Western label is used incorrectly to mean a fictional historical, story set in the U.S. I'm not really sure. I'll figure it out eventually, but for now, let's say it's a Western, right? So, yeah, and of course, it does not have an adaptation. Otherwise, it would be published in English, right? So, it is what it is. Now, the premise here is that there's this guy. His name is Brad, and he's called the Grim Reaper. He is an assassin for hire, specifically under the local Irish gang called the Gravediggers. And to be fair, I don't really think there's a major story, like an overarching story. It's more like a glimpse into the life of this guy, right? And into the life of his brother, as we kind of learn a little bit about them, learn about the place they live in, which is actually Manhattan, in the middle 19th century. At least that's what it says here. And his younger brother, Luke, is a very hardworking, normal, good guy. But he's Irish, so he gets mistreated by the people that hire him, and he only gets paid 50 cents a day, which is a horrible amount of money. And Brad gets paid $10 a head. Basically, anytime he kills someone, that's his fee. And he gets paid by the Gravediggers quite often to get rid of people that need to be offed, right? So it is what it is. This is kind of the life they live. His brother, Luke, doesn't know that Brad is an assassin. And Brad doesn't really want to tell him because his brother is like a very nice, upstanding guy. And he's not going to like the fact that his brother is an assassin, right? So he keeps it hidden. He acts like he's this like useless, layabout older brother, even though clearly he's not. And most of the money that he makes, he actually spends immediately on trying to track some information down about who he says is his father. I'm not sure if that's true or not, but he wants to find this guy so that he can go and kill him himself. Now, I don't know why he wants to kill him. We don't know anything yet. But generally, we just follow Brad as he does some assassinations. And then it seems like he's going to end up getting in trouble by the end of the first volume because he ended up having to deal with the son of his boss, the leader of the Gravediggers. And the problem is that there's an altercation and shit happened, and Brad chose to protect his girlfriend / favorite prostitute over helping this guy. And, well, shit happens in this kind of a lawless land. And that might be the impetus to why they end up west. And it might be why this story ends up being a western. But overall, Green Blood is really awesome, really interesting, and I definitely recommend it. I definitely recommend anything by Masumi Kagisaki in general. Once he got his art style set up, he was really, really good. And his stuff mostly feels like movies. Like it's kind of like a popcorn kind of type story. Of course, it's a lot longer feeling than a movie, because usually movies are very quick. Even if they feel like they're supposed to cover a lot of time, they end up being very, quick about getting to the parts that are important. But his style and his way of telling stories does feel kind of cinematic in a way that most other manga doesn't. And even in Bestiarius, in the author's notes, he does mention that he's trying to copy the feeling he gets when he's watching certain types of movies, usually the kind of cool action, historical fiction kind of movies that he likes. For Bestiarius, he's basically based it on Ben-Hur, at least that's what he said. And I'm guessing that this one is based on some classic Western movies, because that would kind of make sense, right? So overall, Green Blood is really, really good. I definitely recommend you guys read it some way. My preferred method would be for you guys to buy it from some other country and then read the scans, but I know that's not really realistic for most people, so do what you gotta do and enjoy Green Blood and other works by Masumi Kagisaki, and hopefully they'll get published in English eventually so that everyone can easily collect them. So there you go. That's my thoughts on Green Blood number 1. And I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys very much for watching, and see you guys later.